Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Interior Department is defending the government's move to block websites that have alleged links to terrorist groups. Speaking on One Balita Pilipinas, DILG spokesperson and Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya said the decision has a legal basis under the anti-terror law. Recall that the National Telecommunications Commission, at the request of the National Security Council, ordered the shutdown of 26 websites, including those of some progressive groups and alternative media.
Ang ginamit po nating basihan dyan is yung Anti-Terrorism Act. Dahil meron na pong designation ng Anti-Terrorism Council declaring the CPP, NPA, NTF, and all of its allied organizations as terrorist organizations, kaya po natin pinablock sa National Telecommunications Commission.
And on the economy, the Philippine peso tumbled to its lowest in over a decade. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez tells us what this means for the local economy in this report.
The Philippine peso slumped to its lowest level in nearly 17 years as the US dollar continued to appreciate. The local currency touched 54 pesos 63 cents to the dollar at one point during trading on Wednesday before closing at 54.47. That was the peso's weakest level since November 2005 and marks the sixth straight day of the currency depreciating. Economists say this doesn't necessarily benefit OFW families because higher prices of basic goods will offset their gain.
Their beneficiaries of remittances get a little more peso, but because of the inflation dynamics, that purchasing power is probably just washed out.
The dollar has been strengthening because the U.S. Central Bank decided to raise interest rates by a lot. Investors want to see the same kind of aggressiveness from the Bangko Sentral, but incoming Governor Felipe Medalla has already said they will do it gradually. This happened in 2018 too, when the Federal Reserve and BSP took different paths, causing the peso to drop more than 9%. This time around, analysts expect more pain ahead.
We see the peso depreciating to 56 because it doesn't seem like the BSP seems to care about. Maybe they need to review what they did back then because clearly their strategy right now isn't going to cut it.
The last time the peso hit the 56 level was 2004 under President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. The BSP is set to hold its next policy meeting on Thursday. Already, big business groups are warning of a chain reaction given the continued increase in oil prices.
Mga chain effect sa mga bagay, no? Mga transportation, cost of productions, tataas yan ng without any added factors just because of the exchange rate.
Many economists now see the peso depreciating even further this year, which will be a big problem for the agriculture sector since we import most of our fuel and fertilizer. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, we are One News.
We will be back with more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Domestic workers in Metro Manila can now enjoy at least 6,000 pesos in monthly wages after the Regional Wage Board approved a 1,000 peso increase in their monthly salaries. Here's the report.
The Regional Tripartite Wage and Productivity Board of NCR has approved the 1,000 peso wage increase for domestic workers. Because of this, the new minimum wage for domestic workers in NCR is 6,000 pesos a month. The Labor Department says many domestic workers will benefit from this looming wage increase.
This will benefit an estimated 200,000 kasambahays in the National Capital Region, about 60% of which are live-in kasambahays.
The last time domestic helpers got an increase in their minimum wage was in January 2020. That was an increase of 1,500 pesos, which brought the minimum wage to 5,000 pesos. The latest round of increase will be implemented after the wage order is affirmed and published in at least 2 newspapers of general circulation. As of now, 10 regions have implemented wage increases, including Cordillera Region, Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Mimaropa, Bicol, Western and Central Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Davao Region. The new wage order increasing wages of kasambahays in Zamboanga Peninsula to 3,500 to 4,000 pesos will be implemented starting June 25. Meanwhile, domestic helpers in Eastern Visayas will start getting a higher minimum pay of 4,500 to 5,000 pesos starting June 27. By end month, domestic helpers in Caraga will get their wage increase for a 4,000 peso minimum wage. Of all the regions, only Calabarzon and Socsargen have yet to have a wage increase approved for kasambahays, as the matter is still under DOLE's deliberation. In all other regions, domestic helpers are urged to submit complaints before the DOLE should their employers refuse to implement the higher wages.
May rule ang NWPC gagawin non-payment of the prescribed minimum wage ay subject sa penalty. They can simply go to the regional boards to file the complaint or the field offices of the Department of Labor.
For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Content creator Daryl Yap has released a first look into his film, Made in Malacanang. Yap's production house, Vincentiments, shared the official poster for the movie, which revolves around the Marcos family's last days in Malacanang Palace. Diego Loizaga is playing Bongbong Marcos, while Christine Reyes and Ella Cruz will take on the roles of the Marcos sisters, Aimee and Irene. And this just in, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has hiked interest rates by another 25 basis points to 2.5%. The BSP is expected to hike rates by another 25 basis points in August to anchor inflation. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Former Agriculture Secretary Manny Peñol will serve as Food Security Advisor to incoming National Security Advisor Clarita Carlos. Peñol says he has submitted recommendations on how to address the country's impending food crisis. Former Philippine Airlines President Jaime Bautista has been nominated as Transport Secretary under the incoming Marcos administration. Incoming Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez said Bautista has already accepted the post. And several groups will be staging a protest at Daliwasang Bonifacio in Manila in time for President-elect Bongbong Marcos's inauguration on June 30. Joining this rally are Bayan, Piston, Kilusang Mayo Uno, and Kadamay. The groups say that they want the government to immediately address soaring oil prices and rising food costs. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.